Welcome to the present persuasive excursion. In this video, we're jumping profound into something that holds the possibility to change your life in manners you probably won't actually anticipate: facing challenges. You've most likely heard the adage, the greatest gamble isn't facing any challenge, and yet what does that genuinely mean, and what might it do for you open additional opportunities? Today we will investigate why facing challenges is fundamental for development, achievement, and tracking down your motivation. We'll separate precisely why dangers are so significant, how you can embrace them in your day-to-day existence, and how you can defeat the apprehensions that normally emerge when we face vulnerability. Can we just be real? The majority of us dread the unexplored world. It's normal to delay when we don't know what lies ahead. However, risk-taking is the way to getting strange and into phenomenal open doors. Thus, prepare to break, liberated from impediments, step into another part of self-awareness and change your attitude. How about we begin? Before we plunge into the subtleties of how hazard can prompt staggering changes, we should initially discuss the safe place. The safe place is where you have a solid sense of reassurance and secure, but on the other hand is where development stops. A quiet jail keeps you caught in everyday practice and consistency. While there's nothing intrinsically amiss with solace, living inside your usual range of familiarity for a really long time implies you're not extending your points of view. It's not difficult to track down solace in a routine since it has a good sense of reassurance. All things considered, we as a whole need security, correct? In any case, have you at any point contemplated whether this strength is really keeping you stuck? The issue with remaining in your usual range of familiarity is that it can prevent you from developing, learning, and accomplishing things that are genuinely satisfying. Individuals who stay in their usual ranges of familiarity pass up open doors since they keep away from the dangers that could prompt something more prominent. On the off chance that you're where you feel you've grown out of your ongoing conditions, odds are you really want to get out of that safe place. Consider it: have you at any point remained in a task, a relationship, or a circumstance essentially on the grounds that it felt safe? It tends to be enticing to remain where everything feels unsurprising, where the apprehension about the obscure doesn't pose a potential threat. However, if you need to encounter new things, whether it's vocation, achievement, independence from the rat race, self-awareness, or a feeling of direction, you want to propel yourself past what feels good. Risk-making is an essential strive for accomplishing genuine significance. The apprehension about disappointment keeps a considerable lot of us attached to the safe place. Notwithstanding, the best way to develop and find new open doors is by venturing beyond that place of refuge. Presently, we should discuss dread. Quite possibly the greatest thing that prevents individuals from facing challenges is dread. The anxiety toward disappointment, apprehension about dismissal, apprehension about judgment, these are regular human feelings. Dread isn't innately awful. Dread can be a strong inspiration, truth be told. It's when dread deadens you that it turns into an issue. The actual demonstration of dread means you are testing something in your life, a sign you're going to accomplish something huge. Dread goes with a new area, whether it's beginning a business, moving to another city, or standing up to a hard choice. Be that as it may, the mystery is dread doesn't need to control you. Rather than allowing dread to direct your decisions, let it fuel you. Utilize that trepidation as the energy to move you forward as opposed to keeping you down. Ponder how often dread has prevented you from following through with something. Maybe it prevented you from having that troublesome discussion, beginning another venture, or requesting something you truly cared about. That dread you feel is normal. However, when you defeat it, you become familiar with the most significant examples about yourself. Dread is essentially a side effect of development and new encounters. In this way, when you feel dread, it's really a decent sign. You're on the cusp of something significant. To push through dread you really want to adjust your viewpoint. Rather than considering dread to be an obstruction, view it as a chance to learn, develop, and demonstrate to yourself that you are fit for taking care of anything that comes your direction. Achievement is much of the time on the opposite side of dread, so embrace it, face it, and use it to fuel your best course of action. Risk-taking doesn't generally mean rolling out emotional improvements or immense jumps. Truth be told, the best individuals frequently start by facing little challenges. These little advances compound after some time and lead to gigantic prizes. Whether it's requesting a raise, talking openly, or taking on a difficult task at work, little dangers are strong in light of the fact that they gather speed. Consider it each time you face a little challenge, you acquire certainty. You discover some new information, and you start to accept that facing challenges isn't generally so frightening as it appears. By making gradual strides, you make a strong starting point for greater dangers not too far off. The more you work on facing little challenges, the more regular it will feel to take bigger ones. Very much like a snowball moving down a slope, the energy constructs, and soon enough, you'll be prepared for significantly more prominent open doors. How about we check out Jeff Bezos, the organizer behind Amazon? Bezos didn't begin with making the biggest online business realm on the planet. He began by selling books on the web, a generally okay endeavor at that point. Be that as it may, the gamble he took was huge in reality, as we know it, where nobody might have anticipated the fate of web-based shopping. Bezos wouldn't hesitate to face the little challenge beginning a web-based bookshop, which at last prompted the send-off of Amazon, an organization that changed the retail scene until the end of time. In this way, in the event that you're having a reluctant outlook on taking a major jump, begin with something little. Put forth an objective that pushes you outside your usual range of familiarity, however is reachable. By facing little challenges and reliably venturing outside your usual range of familiarity, you'll continuously wind up taking greater and bolder actions. At the point when we discuss risk, we likewise need to discuss disappointment. Disappointment is frequently viewed as something negative, something to keep away from no matter what. However, truly disappointment is an essential piece of progress. Nobody accomplishes incredible things without encountering difficulties and difficulties en route. We should investigate Michael Jordan, broadly viewed as one of the best b-ball players ever. Jordan didn't make the varsity group in secondary school. He was cut from the group, and that was an excruciating disappointment. However, rather than surrendering, he utilized that inability to fuel his energy and assurance. He rehearsed more diligently than at any other time, and at last proceeded to turn into a six-time NBA champion. His story instructs us that disappointment isn't the end, it's simply a venturing stone on the way to significance. Disappointment shows us important examples. It shows us what doesn't work, assisting us with refining our techniques and attempt once more with more information and experience. Each time you fall flat, you discover some new information that carries you nearer to your objective. It's vital to perceive that disappointment isn't an impression of your capacities, but instead a piece of the educational experience. It's through disappointment that we find our actual strength. The fruitful individuals we respect have bombed commonly. Be that as it may, they didn't allow their disappointments to characterize them, they let them spur them. Disappointment shows us tolerance, ingenuity, and coarseness. In this way, embrace disappointment as a component of the cycle. It's the means by which we develop and turn out to be further. Ingenuity is the way to exploring through the unavoidable difficulties that will emerge when you face challenges. Life is brimming with hindrances, and achievement is certainly not a straight line. In any case, constancy permits you to continue onward in any event when things don't go as expected. You might confront mishaps, yet on the off chance that you remain fixed on your objectives and continue to push ahead, you will ultimately contact them. Take the account of Colonel Harlan Sanders, the organizer behind Kentucky Broiled Chicken, KFC. At 65 years old, Sanders was dismissed by more than 1,000 potential establishment proprietors before he found somebody who had faith in his chicken recipe. Well, suppose he had surrendered after only a couple of dismissals. Be that as it may, all things being equal, his determination prompted the production of one of the biggest cheap food chains on the planet. Diligence requires mental durability, and something develops with time and experience. You need to continue to push in any event when the chances appear to be stacked against you. Versatility is tied in with returning from disappointment and proceeding to face challenges in any event while you're confronting vulnerability. Strength instructs you that the excursion is generally difficult, yet it's worth the effort. Risk-taking is at the core of advancement. Each weighty thought item in administration has come from somebody who actually considered rocking the boat. Ponder the development of the cell phone. Before the iPhone, there were other cell phones. However, not a single one of them were very similar to Apple's. Steve Occupations faced a monstrous challenge by totally reconsidering the telephone and changing the manner in which we convey work and play. Risk at its center is tied in with making a novel new thing. It's tied in with testing suspicions and investigating additional opportunities. Without facing challenges, there would be no new innovation, no logical disclosures, and no advancement. Risk-taking fuels advancement, and development drives what's to come. Whether you're a business visionary sending off another item or somebody just attempting to take care of an issue in your own life, embracing risk is fundamental for driving change. Advancement expects us to step outside our usual ranges of familiarity, attempt new things, and be available to disappointment. All in all, facing challenges is tied in with venturing into your power. It's tied in with confiding in yourself enough to make a move in any event when the result is dubious. About embracing the obscure and knowing regardless of whether you come up short, you'll learn something important. At the point when you face challenges, you open your maximum capacity. You open ways to new open doors, new encounters, and a daily existence loaded up with reason and importance. Try not to allow dread to prevent you from seeking after what you really care about. Begin little, remain tireless, and continue to face those challenges. The existence you long for is hanging tight for you on the opposite side of dread. And just through risk-taking could you at any point genuinely open the significance inside you.